grazie. Also I got obrigado. Thank you.
We all Liverpool supporters? Yeah. Any non-Liverpool supporters amongst us? Own up. We'll wheel you out before the end of the tour. If there's any City fans, don't put your hand up. We'll get a dodge like that. Okay. Good morning everybody, welcome to Anfield, home of the greatest football club in the world. Home of the greatest football club in the world. Yeah! My name's Ray, friend at the back is Tom. We'll be your tour guides for your tour of the stadium, which will take around about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. Start off on level 6, which involves going up a number of escalators. Is everyone okay on escalators? And then we'll be coming down the stairs on the far side of the stadium. Any problems, let Tom know well in advance so we can sort the lift out for you. A few quick house rules, no smoking on the tour, including vaping and e-cigarettes. There's no fire alarm test planned for today. If the alarm sounds, you'll be evacuated in the stadium. Just stay close to myself and Tom. We'll get you to a place of safety as quickly as possible. One golden rule, when we get pitch side later on in the tour, please resist the temptation to go under, over or around the barrier and onto the pitch. The only people allowed on the pitch are people young enough and good enough to play for Liverpool Football Club. And looking around the room, I think that boat has well sailed for most of us here. So please don't go on the pitch or the tour will come to a grinding halt. Other than that, take as many photos and videos as you want as we're going round. At the end of the tour, if you haven't enjoyed it for any particular reason, do please come and let us know. And I will personally drive you to Goodison Park in my own car. Show you what real misery looks like. Are we all ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, just look at this one. Everyone needs toilet facilities on the tour, folks. There's toilets behind you here, level 6, and then when we go down again to level 2. Can anyone tell me the motto of the club? You'll never walk alone, thank you. Don't want to see anyone walking alone around the stadium, okay? When we say move on, can we all move on together as a group? We've got quite a large group. The people at the front move on and everyone stays behind to take the last photograph. The people at the front are standing around waiting for 10 to 15 minutes. We've only got a certain amount of time to get round the tour, so please, when we say move on, can we all move on together? You'll get plenty of time to take all your photos and videos. So we're on level 6 now, the highest concourse in the stadium. And for the purpose of the tour, we call this our Managers Row or Managers Hall of Fame, where we celebrate some of the great managers in Liverpool's history, starting with the one and only Bill Shankly, the man who made all this possible. You wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Bill Shankly. Everything you see today is built on the shoulders of that man. When he arrived in 1959, the club was going nowhere, middle of the second division and going down rather than up. Within 5 years, we're not only back in the first division, we're English champions. He wins our first ever FA Cup in 1965, and in those days the FA Cup was as big as the league title, and we had never won it in our 73-year history until then. He also wins us our first ever European trophy, the UEFA Cup, in 1973. In total, he wins 3 league titles, 2 FA Cups and a UEFA Cup. This way, when he steps down, this man takes over as assistant Bob Paisley, and Bob Paisley becomes the most successful manager in Liverpool's history. He's here for 9 seasons and he wins us 19 trophies. On average, he wins a trophy every 28 games. Just think about 28 games, a trophy. Unbelievable. Wins 6 league titles and becomes the first man in football to win 3 European Cups with the same club. Come this way. When Bob steps down, his assistant takes over, Joe Fagan, the only Scouser amongst all our managers, lived virtually all his life, 10-minute walk from the ground, and he used to walk to the match on match days through the crowd, and he'd be telling people who was playing, who wasn't, who had an injury. Imagine Klopp doing that today, unbelievable. He was only able to took the job for 2 years because he didn't think he could follow in the footsteps of Paisley and Shankly. Within his first year, he does something no one in football, English football, had done up until then. He wins a treble, wins us the league, the European Cup and the League Cup. The King, Kenny Dalglish, greatest player ever to put a shirt on for this football club. I've been watching him for 52, 53 years, and he is, my opinion, the best player we've ever had. When he was appointed manager, he was our only player manager, never had a player manager before or since, and in his first season he does something no Liverpool manager done before or since, wins us the league and the cup, double, the domestic double, league and FA Cup. When we go out onto the gantry shortly to look inside the stadium, you'll see the stand opposite is named the Kenny Dalglish stand. That's the esteem with which he's held at the football club, the only person ever to have a stand named after him in our history. This way. Gerard Houllier, our first overseas manager. When he came to the club, they had been known in the media as the Spice Boys. They had an image of night clubbing, drinking alcohol. They used to get private jets here from Liverpool to London after games to go night clubbing in London. Houllier came in and totally changed it, banned alcohol at the club, changed the training methods, brought in nutritionalists, dietitians, and basically dragged us into the 21st century, became more professional. And in 2001, every cup competition we entered that season, we won 5 trophies in 6 calendar months. He won the League Cup, the FA Cup, the UEFA Cup, the European Super Cup, and the Charity Shield. Doesn't get the credit he deserves because of all the managers you'll see on here, he's the only one that never won us one of the big 2, the League or the European Cup. But it was largely his team that Rafa Benitez inherited and won us our 5th European Cup in Istanbul in 2005, and we'll speak a bit more about that when we go down to level 2. And he also won us an FA Cup the following season, 2006, the Steven Gerrard final. Come this way, one man we haven't spoken about yet, and it kills me to speak about him.
Oh.
Probably the closest thing we'll ever get to Shankly. I'll never see another manager like him. Won us our 6th European Cup in Madrid, won us our 19th league title after we waited 30 years. and for the first time in the club's history made us champions of the world. Also won us 2 League Cups, an FA Cup and a European Super Cup to go with it. And he's leaving us, that's all I can say. I'll start getting upset. Just bear with us, something's been messed about with the remote.
No.
Okay, hopefully. So this is a short 3-4 minute film showing some great goals and games. If you've got any kids, by the way, bring them forward to the front. You can sit down if you want at the front. 3-4 minute film showing some great goals and games from the past here at Anfield, from the 1960s when it was all black and white to the present day, and it's introduced, hopefully, by the greatest living German.
Hello everybody, this is Anfield, a historic place, a special place, a sacred place.
Whenever life gets tiresome, when clouds above are grey, I just simply close my eyes and slowly drift away. I think about a special place, that's when the darkness fades. That special place is Anfield, the place where dreams are made. I see the pitch, I hear the cup, I taste the atmosphere, flags, banners, songs of old, which echo down the years, colours entwined, red and white with grass and emerald green. A beautiful vision, a sacred place, filled with hopes and dreams. So many special memories, elation, joy, cheers, passion, glory, ecstasy, emotion, laced with tears. Whenever life gets tiresome, I know how to see it through. I simply think of Anfield, the place where dreams come true.
My idea was that to run the volunteer bastion of invincibility, Napoleon had that idea, he would conquer the bloody world, you know. And that's what I wanted, that Liverpool would be untouchable until eventually everybody would have the sword together.
Boom! enjoy the tour. Put your headsets back on, this way.
Tom, can you ready that remote's going again on the, you got it there? Come this way folks, you normally go under, you go round and get the remote started, keep moving down to the left for me please folks. No, it's pretty much the thing that's started there. Move down this way, folks, loads of room down the centre. Okay, so while you're getting your initial photos, I'll just give you some quick information on the stadium. Currently in the main stand, goes back behind us 93 rows and holds 20,500 people, making it one of the biggest stands in European football. Down to our left is the Anfield Road. Away to the ball is the house in the bottom left-hand section of the Anfield Road. It's currently being redeveloped and it's increased the capacity from 54 to 61,000. Stand opposite was originally the Kemlin Road stand. To celebrate our centenary, we had the second tier in 1992, and then it was renamed in honour of Kenny Dalglish. And then down to the right-hand side is the Cop, or the flying Cop with a full title. Car piece in the football club where we see all the flags and the banners, and we'll be going down to the Cop towards the end, so I'll give you a bit more information about it when we go down there later on. If you'd now like to take your audio guide, you can put your headphones in. Hold it up to the distant landscape position. You'll never walk alone on the match day.
Que se ve el FC. Nike.
Okay folks, so this is part of the tours entitled Anfield and announced about the origins of the football club. This photo, taken early 1900s. If you get the chance at the end of the tour, if you make your way round to where the Kenny Dalglish stand meets the Spine Cop, you'll see this flagpole corner. That's the oldest part of the ground that's still standing. That's been there since 1891. It was originally a mast on a ship, the SS Great Eastern. When the ship was decommissioned and broken up, they sawed the masts up into pieces, and that particular piece was brought up to Anfield on horse and cart docks and erected in 1891. And in 1891, the league champions who were playing here had their pennants flying from the top of that flagpole. Anyone have any idea that it was? Kills me to say it. Everton. Everton, our neighbours, played here before Liverpool were even formed. So if you follow me this way, the next part of the tour is called the Everton Window. I'm contractually obliged to take you around there. If you start feeling sick, getting headaches, just put your hand up the left instead of first aid. All of you suggested, don't look to the right, just look to the left. even risk one eye. So, if you look, first of all, I'll point it out, if you look to the block of flats on your left down on the waterfront, you see the building next to it, that's Everton's new ground that's currently being built at Bramley-Moor Dock. They hope to play in it the season after next, and hopefully it'll be the best stadium in the Championship. So, 1891, Everton are playing here, and the league champions, they're getting good crowd, they're getting between 8,000 and 10,000 people each game. The president is a man called John Holding, and he owns Anfield and he charges Everton rent to play here. He's also a businessman, he brews beer in the city. So he decides, because they're getting good crowds, I'll start selling me beer at the match and I'll make some extra money. Now Everton had been formed from a Presbyterian church called St Domingo, and they wouldn't allow Holding to sell his beer at the game because they didn't agree with it. So Holding said, I'm going to charge you more rent to play here then. He wouldn't pay any increase in rent. So they were basically evicted and they went over to Stanley Park, which is a Victorian park here on the right hand side, and they played there while they had Goodison Park built. And Goodison Park, believe it or not, is the first stadium in the world that was built purely to play football and no other sports, just football. Every other stadium until then had been for a mixture of sports, usually football and athletics. So Holding is left here at Anfield with a set of old Everton kit, which was blue and white quarters, a ground, and nothing else. So we get a friend of his, a man called John McKenna, travels up to Scotland, and McKenna comes back with 13 Scotsmen, all of which, virtually all of who began with, their surname began with the word Mac something. So they became known as the team of Macs. Brought them back, and in 1892, the following year, he was registered as Liverpool Football Club. Within 9 years, the champions of England. They become champions of England for the first time in 1901. So Holding is president here in 1891 when Everton the champions, and he's president here 10 years later when Liverpool become champions for the first time. And the rest, as they say, is history. For people who aren't from the city, when they come here, they're usually quite surprised how close the two grounds are to each other. We are the closest two teams to each other in the Premiership. In English football as a whole, it's actually Nottingham Forest and Notts County who are the closest, and in British football, it's Dundee and Dundee United who are separated just by a main road. So would anyone like to hazard a guess what the distance is between ourselves and Everton? Mile? Any increase, decrease on a mile?
40 points.
Sorry?
40 points.
40 points, nearly. No, the actual distance between Liverpool and Everton, wait for it, is light years. You haven't won a trophy since 1995. Long may it continue. That's enough of the Everton baiting now. We're now going down to level 2, which is our European Boulevard, where we celebrate all our successes in Europe. Everyone okay with the stairs, yeah? Come this way,
See you last week, guys. You don't want to look at them too much, just don't worry with it.
Actually, no, we've just got to wait until we get to the place where we can buy one.
Has anyone pre-purchased any of the photo packages? Has anyone pre-purchased them when they got the tickets? You have? Okay, just when we get to the press conference room, you can have an extra photo taken, so just let us know. Okay folks, so we're now on level 2 concourse, and this is the biggest concourse in the stadium. On a match day we can house about 9,000 supporters on here. We'll come up before the game, have something to eat, something to drink. We'll have live music playing at the far end. For the purpose of the tour, we call it European Boulevard, where we celebrate the fact that Liverpool Football Club, the most successful British team in European football, 6 European Cups, 3 UEFA Cups and 4 European Super Cups. And as we go down the concourse, you'll see on the right hand side a series of photographs depicting all our triumphs, so you come this way for us. Okay, so I mentioned upstairs, Bill Shankly won us our first ever European trophy, and that's it with the UEFA Cup in 1973. It's the equivalent of the Europa League today. And in 1973, and when we won it again in 1976, it was played over 2 legs, home and away. It wasn't a one-off final like it is today. And we beat Borussia Mönchengladbach in 73 and Club Bruges in 76. Come this way, 2001, we played Alaves over in Dortmund, and that was the only final ever decided by a golden goal, European final, decided by a golden goal. It was 4-4 at the end of 90 minutes, so it went to extra time, but it wasn't 30 minutes of extra time. Whoever scored the next goal, the game finished, and Liverpool, Alaves scored an own goal, and Liverpool won 5-4 on the night to win the 3rd UEFA Cup. Come this way. But the trophy that the club craves is this one in Europe, the European Cup, Champions League as it now is. 77 we went to Rome to play in our first European Cup final against Borussia Mönchengladbach, who we'd beaten to win our first ever European trophy. The start of the show at that time was a man called Kevin Keegan, and at the end of the game he was sold to Hamburg in Germany for £500,000. And with the £500,000 we signed Kenny Dalglish from Celtic, and the following season, 1978, we'd become the first British club to retain the European Cup, beating Bruges 1-0 at Wembley. Kenny Dalglish scored the only goal of the game. That's an actual ticket from the game, photo of a ticket at the game. To sit in a seat at Wembley for the European Cup final was £5. Unbelievable. 1981, just to prove that we can beat Real Madrid now and again, we played them over in Paris, beat them 1-0. This man scored the only goal of the game. Anyone know his name? Alan Kennedy. And this is the other fullback, right fullback, Phil Neal, won more medals with Liverpool Football Club than any other player in our history. Also played 417 consecutive games, never missed a minute through injury. So 1984, we're back in Rome, but we're playing Roma in their own stadium. So if you can imagine Liverpool playing their Champions League final at Anfield, what it would be like out there, absolute carnage. It was the same in Rome, but in reverse. Small pocket of Liverpool fans, the rest of the ground all Roma supporters, very, very intimidating. And they were that confident of winning that when the Liverpool team bus arrived before the game, there was an open-top bus already in the car park, decked out in Roma's colours with Campione champions on the front. They were that confident they were going to win. They had the bus ready to do their tour of the city with the trophy following the game. For those of you old enough to remember, Bruce Grobbelaar was in goal for us that day when he went to the penalty shootout. Spaghetti legs on the goal line. If you haven't seen it, YouTube it. Unbelievable. And we beat them on penalties to win our 4th European Cup. Come this way. And in 2005, the miracle of Istanbul, 19 years ago now. You think everybody knows everything about it, and there's a lot of kids, younger people don't. But it's probably the greatest European final there's ever been or ever likely to be, unless you're an AC Milan supporter. We're playing AC Milan, not just the best team in Europe at the time, the best team in the world, and the best team in the world by a mile. Shevchenko, Crespo, Maldini, Kaká, all world-class players. And at half time we're getting beat 3-0, and in all honesty it could have been 8 or 9. They absolutely battered us. Come up in the second half and they had what they still call in Italy the 6 minutes of madness, when in 6 minutes Liverpool scored 3 goals. Gerrard, Schweizer and Xabi Alonso, and they get it back to 3-3. Goes to extra time, no goals, goes to penalties, and Shevchenko misses his penalty for Milan, and Liverpool have won European Cup number 5. And in those days, back in 2005, if you won it 3 times on the run, or you won it 5 times in total, you got to keep the real trophy. So when you go to the museum at the end of the tour, there's 6 European Cups on display, 5 replicas, 1 is the real deal. If you win it 10 times now, they'll give you the real one on the night to go round in front of your supporters with. When you get back in the changing room, you wait to take that off you, and they give you a replica. So we're one of only 5 clubs in Europe that have got a real European Cup. Do you know the other 4? Real Madrid, AC Milan, Bayern Munich. No. Dutch. Ajax. They won it 3 times on the bounce, Ajax. So the other great thing is, recently Man United sent out a poll to all their supporters asking them to vote for the best trophy that Man United had ever won. And the vast majority of them voted for the European Cup they won in 1999 when they beat Bayern Munich over in Barcelona, because that trophy formed the last part of the treble that they won that season. So they look upon that as the most important and the best trophy they've ever won. If their supporters want to see the trophy that they held up in the air that night, they've got to come here, give us 25 quid, listen to me drone on for an hour and 20 minutes, and then go to our museum, because that's the same trophy we've got in our museum.
Yeah.
And then finally, it should be the highlight, and it's still rather sad now, because I used to be able to say 2019 Madrid, European Cup number 6, the first one under Jürgen, but not the last. It is going to be the last. That's the day after when they returned home to Liverpool with the trophy. Jürgen's wife didn't want to go on the team bus with all the family. She wanted to go in the crowd to sample the atmosphere. And that, believe it or not, is the moment Jürgen spotted her stood on a wheelie bin in Liverpool city centre and pointed her out. If you put your headphones back in, I'll play you a short video. He said. This is highlights of the game in Madrid, very short highlights because it was a terrible game, and then you can see the scenes that witnessed the day they came back with the trophy.
Even compensates for going mad.
Okay, so just to give you an idea what it means to the club and the city, when Chelsea won their first European Cup 2012, 200,000 people lined the streets of London to welcome them back, which is not an insignificant number. When we won it in 2019, they estimated close on 1 million people lined the streets of Liverpool, over twice the population of the city lined the streets. That's how much it means to us. You alright, Tom? Yeah? So everywhere we've been so far on the tour, up on level 6 and down here level 2, you'd have access to public access. You had a ticket on a match day, you could see all of this. We're now going to go around through the Carlsberg Lounge. Everything here on after is all the private stuff that you wouldn't normally see if you came on a match day. Okay, so as you can imagine, Anfield has quite a few hospitality lounges around the stadium. This one's different from every other. You cannot buy a ticket to come in here. You have to get an invite off Carlsberg. Carlsberg own the lounge. They're our longest serving sponsor. Initially our shared sponsor, now our official beer partner. And what they'll do on the match day, they'll invite, I think it's somewhere around about 60 to 70 guests in, who'll... sorry. 60 to 70 guests in, they'll come in before the game, they'll get a nice meal laid on for them, whatever they want to drink, and then they'll go and watch the match. They come back after the game, you get given a voting slip, and they get to vote for Liverpool's man of the match that day. And whoever wins the man of the match award will come up from the changing room, get the photo taken with the guests, sign autographs, do a quick question and answer session. Mo Salah wins every week. 3 games this season, he wasn't even playing. They voted him man of the match because everyone wants the photograph taken with Mo Salah. See? Okay folks, so this is what we call the POTS area, which stands for players, officials and technical staff. And you can see above the door at the far end it says players and officials. So this is where the players arrive, this is where all the VIPs will arrive on the match day. If you saw the big grey shutters at the top of Anfield Road, that's where the team buses will pull in, and they'll pull in outside these double doors. And we've gone from the highest point of the stadium up on level 6, the gantry. We're now in the lowest point of the stadium because outside in the car park we're slightly underground. And the away team bus will arrive first, usually about an hour and 3/4 before kick-off, and the away team walk down this carpet through the doors at the far end and go right and go to the away team dressing room. About 20 minutes or so later the Liverpool bus will arrive. They'll walk down the same carpet, but they'll go left to the Liverpool changing room. There's one person who always gets off the bus with the team, comes into here, but doesn't go into the changing room. Any ideas? It's not the driver. The referee on the Liverpool team bus, I wish. This is one of the decisions we've had this season. See you, mate. Not a chance. No, it's Jurgen Klopp. Klopp comes into here, and if we point these two doors out, left and right, both plain brown wooden doors, nothing to distinguish what's behind them. If we go through this door on my left, you go into the kitchens where they do all the food for the hospitality lounges, and if you go through this door, you're in Jurgen Klopp's office that he uses on a match day. And the reason we point it out is, when they redeveloped the stand, they brought Jurgen down and said to him, what do you want on the door? And he said, what do you mean? He said, well, do you want Mr. Klopp, Jurgen, the boss, manager, the normal one? What do you want on it? He said, he pointed to that door and said, who's in there? And he said, that's all the chefs. He said, I can't see any of their names on the door. If they don't need their name on the door, why do I need my name on the door? Because I'm no more important to the football club than they are. And when we go out to the dugouts, you'll see there's no roof on the dugout. Again, they took him out to what sort of roof do you want on the dugout when they redesigned them. And he went to the row of seats directly behind the dugout and said to the spectators that sit here, when it rains, do they get wet? And he said, yeah, they get soaked. He said, well, if they're going to get wet, we're all going to get wet. So don't put a roof on the dugouts. So ours is one of the few dugouts that hasn't got a roof on it. And that just shows the type of fella he is. We're going to miss him massively on the pitch, but we're going to miss him off the pitch as well. Not irreplaceable. So we're now going to go through to the press conference room where Jurgen does his press conferences. He's doing his last one on Sunday. We'll do your photos for you. If you want to get up on the small stage that he uses, we'll take photos on your cameras, on your phones, whatever. There's also the opportunity, if you so wish, those who've pre-booked, let us know. If you want a photo taken on the machine, done professionally, they'll superimpose Jurgen sitting next to you. You can view that when you get round to the museum. There's no obligation to buy. You can have it done, have a look at it. If you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. But just let us know. We're going to be saying time and time again, do you want a photo? If you want one, let us know. Okay, follow us this way, please, folks. I thought it was You want one? Yes.
وين؟
No, Dan.
لا بروفيشنال حالي. I don't.
Okay, just welcome to the day for us. 1, 2, 3. It's dark.
It's
It's
okay.
not dark. Just when you get to the museum, it'll be fine.
Estaba en la sección del camarín.
You get 3 pints of all the worldly possessions on. Morning consulate. Telly is basic television. You can watch Corrie or Emmerdale or whatever you want. You can't do anything else with it. There's 3 electrical sockets in the whole changing room, so when the away team arrive and they all want to charge their iPhones and their iPads for the queue for the socket. And this is the only room they've got access to. So if you sit in one of the seats now, sit back, you're here for maybe 2 hours, sit back and rest your back. You can't do it, you can't rest your back. We had a photo of Leeds United all sat on the floor, resting their backs on here before the game. UEFA, Roma made a complaint to UEFA about the noise at one game because the manager couldn't be heard at our time giving his team talk because of the noise that was coming through the ceiling. Totally different when we go next door. And that's the reason we bring it in, just to show you the difference between the Liverpool changing room and the away team. And when we go to other grounds, the Emirates, Goodison, wherever it may be, Old Trafford, the roles are reversed. We get all the basic stuff, home team have all the luxuries. All we provide the away team with on a match day is running water and a fridge. That's all they get, that's all they want. They bring everything else themselves, and Liverpool do the same in reverse. And before we go round to the victors' dressing room, you just take a note, as you're going out, have a look at his seat. That's the seat Messi sat in after the second leg of the semi-final. So we got beat 3-0 away, for those that don't know, by Barcelona and Messi. For the home leg, I'm driving to the game, put the radio on in the car, and it says Mo Salah's out injured and Bobby Firmino's out injured. So we're playing Barcelona without Salah, without Firmino. They've got Messi and 3-0 down. We beat them 4-0. And that's the seat that Messi sat on after the game. And as you're going out, just give it a quick rub because it's still wet. So follow me this way and we'll go round to the Liverpool changing room. We'll be going through the Liverpool players' dining room. So we won't be stopping, we'll just be going straight through. But just have a look at the difference. This is their dining room on the right, which doubles as a medical room. We'll take you through the Liverpool medical dining room.
Wow.
You enjoying it?
I want something sweet. I want to sing.
So do I.
When's it finished? We go to the park.
You're going to sit in Mo's seat next.
I know.
Yeah.
The end of last season, that was the only seat they had to replace. They had to replace his seat because it was
worn out.
bust.
Is everyone? He's just like so much more popular than everyone
Yeah.
else. Yeah. How good's the branding everywhere? Oh wow!
So only the team are allowed in here after the game. They don't allow any family, they don't allow the coaches. Jürgen doesn't come in, it's just the players. They say so they can sort out any difference that they've had during the game. They have their own chefs, their own nutritionists who'll decide what they're all going to eat. Okay.
A preleção, olha as camisas.
Posição de goleiro. A diferença na sala de
So as you can see, slightly more luxurious than the away team. All we ask to take as many photos as you want, but when you're taking in one particular seat and you move on, so that everybody gets a chance. If you wonder where the Liverpool players keep their possession, we can just flip the names up to the top. You can see we've got a mini wardrobe inside, charging points inside you, electrical sockets. Behind this wall here, there's a spa facility with plunge pools, ice baths. The corridor we just walked down, there's a mini gymnasium, walk down room. So Liverpool have a complex of rooms as opposed to the away team just having the one changing room. The television screen you can see, the tactics board, like you see on Sky. When you see Jürgen running up the tunnel at half time, he's getting it, and his analyst will put a USB stick into the tactics board, and they'll go through what's gone wrong, what's gone right in the first half, what they're going to do in the second half. He always apparently picks out 2 good things and 2 bad things. Room's totally soundproof. They have an absolutely unbelievable sound system in here. Then they have bang out records before the game. The lighting, we can adjust the lighting in here. So what they'll do is they'll send somebody out an hour before the game, pitch side, and they'll look at the lighting, take a light reading. They'll come back in, they adjust the lighting in here so it matches the lighting that's going to face the players when they go out on the pitch, so the pupils are already dilated when they go out and used to the light. The away team have fixed lighting all the time, so it'll probably take them a minute or so for their eyes to adjust, especially if it's there at night time under floodlights. So every little thing taken into consideration just to give Liverpool a 1 or a 2% advantage before the game actually starts.
I wasn't in yesterday. One time I wasn't in. He came in yesterday and spoke to loads of people, like said he's buying trophies on the pitch. I don't want to give them. I don't want to lose anybody.
There's some very people who touch this sign. Tele, been here and touch the sign. Maradona, been here and touch the sign. Needed all step like that. Nelson Mandela has touched the sign. David Beckham has touched the sign. Beckham touched it, but he couldn't read it. So, by all means, touch the sign, get your photographs. And as you're walking down the tunnel, I'll just play this song. You put your headphones in, you can listen to what it's like to go down the tunnel and out onto the famous Anfield stadium.
Well, why? Was there one?
Salut.
Oh yeah, sure, we'll sit together. Right.
It's like I said, it's like the UK, but imagine standing and living in the weather is about 100 times better. And he said that's where you are. He said it's like you on steroids, it's unbelievable. You've got the beaches, everyone's there chilling, everyone's good vibes. And I was like, yeah, I was like,
Mais là, non, mais là, non.
This area. So when the friends came back from the war, they wanted to know how they could commemorate those that had died. This is the time, it's just a massive big hill, same as the hill over in South Africa, because it was that before it was fine. 1906, the first concrete to stand on, and then in 1928 they added the roof for the first time. And in its heyday, when it was standing, you could get about 27,000 people stood on here regularly. Against Saint Etienne in the quarter-final of the Champions League in 1977, they estimated there was 34,000 people on the Kop. There's 13,000 seats now, so we're talking about 2.5 people for every seat, as you can see now. So you saw the black and white footage upstairs and going up and down, side to side. If you come on at the start of the game, it'll be always in the top right hand corner. End of the game, you could be over there somewhere. You just got lifted up and taken wherever you went. If you came with family or friends, you always arranged where you'd meet them outside the ground, because you never stayed together once you were in the ground. But a fantastic place to watch a game of football. People say, is the atmosphere gone now because of the reduction in the capacity of this part of the stadium? And the answer is no. This roof here, on the Anfield Road, designed to keep the noise in, knock the weather out. Not bothered about getting wet, just keeps the noise in. And Sunday last game of the season, no trophy to fight for, unfortunately we all played in rugby, but there's no trophy to fight for, but the atmosphere on Sunday, because it's a last game, it's going to be unreal. It's going to be like nothing any of us ever witnessed before, because it's going to be unbelievable and unbelievably sad at the same time. But there you go, but it is a great place to watch a game of football. You get the chance, tickets are like gold dust, I know, but if you ever get the chance to come and watch football, snatch it in both hands, sell your wife's jewellery, sell the car, whatever it takes to do it. I can say without being a contradiction, because my wife is not on the tour. I've had the best days of my life. Yeah, I've had some bad days, but I've had not more good days than bad, so if you get the chance, you have to do it with both hands. Coming to the end of the guiding part of the tour, I'll take you around shortly to the museum, where you can see some big trophies we've won over here, and get some more photos. Has anyone got any final questions before we finish? Hospitality we got like £1,500 tickets each. Okay, so there's no further questions. I've got one for yourself. Have you enjoyed the tour? Yeah, we do appreciate the fact that we come not just from the four corners of Britain to see us, the four corners of the world. People regularly come to see us here. We made them, we really keeps us in the job. As you can imagine, as Liverpool supporters, we absolutely love doing this job and showing you around. You get a feedback form online. Provide feedback on the tour, please do, it helps us. If it's good feedback, it's been Ray and Tom. If it's bad feedback, I'm Phil and that's Gary Neville. We'll have to be Gary. Take your earbuds out, keep them as a souvenir of the day, and Tom will take the audio guides off you as we go around the corner, and I'll take you around to the museum. Cheers to you.
Você tava ali, você se preocupou com como? Não, sério. Você tava ali como assistindo. Pô, é tão rápido.
This is where you learn all the history of the club now, and all the trophies are up there. Yeah.
Toilets straight ahead if you need them, folks, otherwise left into the museum.
Big smile. 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Six times champions of Europe.